I know all of you are following this war in Gaza, which is spreading to Lebanon, to Iran, Iraq, Syria, God knows where next. And I know you're all watching this war in Ukraine, and I know we're all worried about where these wars could go, i.e. nuclear. I think if we're opposed to genocide in Gaza, we have to be opposed to genocide everywhere. And every single nuclear weapon you build is a genocide waiting to happen. So, like so many other things, pretty much everything we were taught about nuclear weapons is basically a big old lie that enables American military imperialism. It's a lie that Hiroshima and Nagasaki were necessary. It's a lie that those bombings were just. It's a lie that they brought the war to a close soon. And it's definitely a lie that they saved lives.
That's right.
Dwight Eisenhower, commander of U.S. forces, 5-star general in the European theater on the day of the invasions of Normandy, and then two-term president after that, said, and I quote, "There was no need to hit them with that awful thing. The Japanese were ready to surrender." So, again, like everything we were taught about Zionism and so on, American imperialism in school, it's a bunch of nonsense. But we have a chance right now to make a difference with that, like everything else. As we're learning more, as we're learning the truth, as more people are waking up. So I do want to just talk about how important this issue is, because we, as Robert McNamara, who was the Secretary of Defense for John F. Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson afterward, he said we came this close to nuclear war during the Cuban Missile Crisis. And historians will tell you that happened at least 3 times, if not 5 or more. So we went through this immense danger. We signed this thing called the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty in 62, 63 maybe. And that committed us to sign, and I quote, to pursue negotiations in good faith on effective measures relating to cessation of the nuclear arms race at an early date and to nuclear disarmament. That treaty was signed 60 years ago, and we really have made no progress in getting there. And we did have disarmament treaties. Things were looking good going into the 1990s. In fact, NDE was started in the early 80s to oppose nuclear testing right down here at the test site, just 60, 70 miles from here. Almost 1,000 warheads were detonated there over multiple decades. And NDE was part of a big wave of activists back in the 80s and 90s who fought to end those. We used to turn out in the desert in the thousands, hundreds of people getting arrested at a time. And in 1992, the U.S. government stopped weapons testing down here. So that was we have a template, we have a path forward. It can be done. Unfortunately, they're looking at reviving nuclear weapons testing. And they want to do it with what they call partial detonations, which is, again, like everything else, it's just a bunch of mealy-mouthed lies. They want to revive testing right here in the desert again. They're going to build these crazy facilities 1,000 feet underground. They cost $1.8 billion a piece. And this is part of a bigger effort started in 2014 or so, in the Obama administration, of what they call nuclear stockpile stewardship. And they want to update, they want to spend, it was supposed to be $500 billion, and then it became $1 trillion, and now it's $1.7 trillion on updating all these weapons. And when they put that money into this, it's very, very hard to get rid of it. Now there's nobody in charge of this. They want to tell you, oh, we have a plan, we're gonna, make sure these weapons are online, ready to go, our deterrence capacity is there. We've heard this kind of stuff before. The truth is, it's really just momentum of the military-industrial complex. There's millions and billions and trillions of dollars in this stuff, and that's the only reason it's still happening. We all know if we really want to live in a world without nuclear weapons, you stop building them. Okay? So that's about all I've got to say. With me and Karen here, she's also with NDE, we're looking at kind of talking to people, getting people together, especially locally, who are interested in doing something about this. And we all thought it was a good chance to connect with you, because if you're here, you're opposed to genocide, right? So if you're interested in that, please see me. I've got some brochures and I've got a little information sheet so we can keep in touch and figure out how to make this world safe for future generations. Thank you guys so much.